things that I think people tend to assume is that the conditions of your life must be perfect in order for you to make the leap, right?
Like waiting for a perfect time. There was no perfect time. There was no perfect time. So for me, my journey started in 2018. 2018 was the year where my life got just flipped and turned upside down. It was a lot of death going on around me, and I had an aunt die in January. We buried her 2 weeks later, and a week after we buried her, my mom passed suddenly. Like literally, I talked to my mom and was like, "Hey, I'm going on a date to this Italian restaurant. I'll call you afterwards." And I never heard from her again.
That's another common theme that I hear from people that have taken this expat kind of journey, whether temporarily or long term. It's like, man, I got somewhere else, and all of a sudden there was air, and I can breathe, and things got a little bit different.
And for those women out there who are single or divorced, I found love on this island. Many people are like, well, what if I fail? What if you don't? But what if I fail? Then what have you learned? Right? Like there's so much more nuances to go past, but what if I fail? So what?
LinkedIn. That wasn't me, did I? So anyway, so we are here, and this is VJ Niles. VJ, I am so excited to chat with you about your life and about kind of what brought you to this new place where you are in the world. Before I get into kind of some of the questions, let me ask you this. For the people that are watching this, if they were to stay to the end, just kind of knowing some of the premise of what it is that we're talking about here, if they were to stay to the end, what do you think would be the most valuable thing that they would get from listening to this entire conversation?
I would say the most valuable thing that they will get is some inspiration to take a leap of faith.
Yeah.
And how to build a little resilience.
Yeah.
And kind of move through from hard times to better times.
That's well said. And, it's so interesting. Every time I have one of these conversations, we were talking off camera about how I spend part of the year in the island of Barbados. So I have this conversation a lot with people where they're like, oh, well, how do you do that? Or what made you go? And it's interesting. The more conversations I have with people that have done it, it kind of all boils down to some element or aspect of their faith walk and journey. It took them believing a thing. Was that your experience also?
A little, yes.
Okay.
So for me, my journey started in 2018. 2018 was the year where my life got just flipped and turned upside down. It was a lot of death going on around me, and I had an aunt die in January. We buried her 2 weeks later, and a week after we buried her, my mom passed suddenly. Like literally, I talked to my mom and was like, "Hey, I'm going on a date to this Italian restaurant. I'll call you afterwards." And I never heard from her again.
Oh God, I'm so sorry.
Thank you. So it was just a year of like, like what's going on?
Yeah.
And probably somewhere in like early 2000s, I always said I wanted to be able to work from anywhere in the world as long as there was Wi-Fi. And this was before Wi-Fi was everywhere, right?
Yeah.
But the only thing that was keeping me in the US was my mom. And so she passed 2 months before my 40th birthday. And so for 40, I was supposed to take a trip to Asia, but after dealing with all the funeral stuff, I was like, okay, I can't do that right now. And I don't know why I was stuck on the letter C. I thought for 39 I was in Belize, but as I saw some old pictures, I was actually in Belize for 38. But
wow.
It made me just be like, well, I went to a B country, now I'm stuck on the letter C.
Interesting.
And I could not get an itinerary to work right. I was like, I'm going to Costa Rica. Couldn't get an itinerary. And I was like, Colombia. And I was like, no, in my luck, because I'm grieving, I'll end up in a drug cartel. Like, I'll be walking by myself. This thing, I'm in some field. And I'll be like, what just happened, right? Just because I'm not paying attention. Not because Colombia is not a safe place, but because I'm not paying attention, right?
Right.
And then I said, Curaçao. I went there on a cruise. It was really nice. And I came to Curaçao for like 10 days or something. I met this guy who was also an American, but his family was from here. And he put the bug in my ear to move to Curaçao.
Okay.
Don't ask me that man's name. I'm sure I've passed him on the street. I don't even remember who he is at this point. But I came back for 2 months and just enjoyed it. And then I came back in 2019. I ended up having a push when I was coming back. Came back December 4th of 2019 and left March 4th of 2020.
Wow.
And I'm from New York. So I went back to New York 2.5 weeks before COVID lockdown.
Oof.
So, and then between 2018 to about 2023 was just back to back deaths in my life, right? So it was first my aunt and my mom, then my mother's best friend. Her youngest sister then passed right after COVID. Like she passed on March 28th. Like I came back, I left my car with my aunt. Her and my uncle picked me up from the airport. I said, "Hey, thank you guys for watching the car. I'm gonna come by, cook you some food." And she was like, "Yeah, she was excited for that because I could make the stuff my mom could make." And that was literally the last time I saw her because then she died 2 weeks later. And it's like, so
Okay.
when I tell you, it was just
VJ, I
back
I
to
don't
back.
even I don't even know where to put the weight of what you must have dealt with and experienced emotionally. And I know that it was several years
What?
ago, but please accept my sincere condolences. That level of
Thank you,
loss
thank you, thank you.
is
And then wait,
difficult.
but it kept going.
Oh
That was the
God.
craziness. It didn't stop. It just
Okay.
kept going.
Yeah.
So in 2020, I did lockdown in New York, and I said I'm going back to Curaçao. I had met a nice guy here,
Hmm.
who had a heart condition that he told me about on our first date. He ended up passing 2021. Yeah, yeah. And
I
then
have
even when I first got
so
here, I had to go to London to quarantine to come here during COVID. And then I quarantined for 2 weeks in London, had to fly into Amsterdam, fly here. I think I was here for 3 days. My great aunt passed, and I was like, I'm not coming back for the funeral. So
right.
just live stream me, And then it was like, oh, wait, no, maybe he was 2022. No, he was 2021. Yeah. Then I had like three more deaths in April and May. Like it was just, when I tell you it was back to back,
Yeah.
and I'm the unofficial funeral planner on both sides of my family.
Right.
So at some point, I had to pray and was like, Lord, I know you say you don't give us more than we can handle, but can we just decrease my quota just a little bit?
Yeah.
I just like a little bit, like it was a lot.
So in this journey of yours where grief and processing it has become part of your growth process, because
Hmm.
that's how kind of God decided to
Hmm.
speed your growth process. You said that your mom was the reason why you were staying in the States, but you had sensed before that you were kind of wanting to live somewhere else and be able to work from anywhere.
Hmm.
And then all this series of stuff just kind of unfolds and unravels. So at what point were you in another country? And did you go anywhere before Curacao that you lived for like a long period of
No,
time?
I've only lived here for
Okay,
long periods. I did like 2 months, 3 months, 6 months. Then I
sure.
did 'cause Americans can come here for up to 6 months without a visa.
Okay.
So I
Yeah.
did that. Then I did a 1 year digital nomad visa. Then I applied for permanent residence.
Okay.
And
So you're
then
officially a permanent resident.
I'm officially a permanent resident.
That's
Yes.
really cool.
Yes.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
I mean, your story, um, there's so many details and nuances to it that I think are important to kind of pull apart here. One of the things that I think people tend to assume is that the conditions of your life must be perfect in order for you to make the leap. Right? But don't they though? Like when you talk to people, they're like, "Oh,
Yes.
I wish I could do that." Or I'll
Right.
do it in 5 to 10 years when. And you're like living, walking, breathing proof that you can still build a life. And I say of your dreams, right? But
Hmm.
obviously the circumstances that kind of you were living and growing through while it was happening, not ideal circumstances,
Hmm.
but it is possible to change your lived environment and
Yes.
circumstance amidst very difficult things. You don't have to sit still to heal from everything, because in some ways going to the new destination is part of your healing. Did you
It was a
find that?
huge part of my healing because
Yeah.
so 2018, I had rebranded my business, right? I
Hmm.
am a career and business strategist, and
Okay.
I used to do recruiting. So
Hmm.
2018, I rebranded. I had just got a new coach. We were working through things. Like I had a whole session with my coach in January, and like February 2nd, my mom passed, right? So for 2018, I really wasn't focused on my business. I was trying to function.
Yep.
2019 was one of the best years of my business. 2019
Yep.
and 2020, like during
Good
COVID,
old
like
COVID. Yep.
it was great times.
Yep.
But like when I came and looked for an apartment, that was when I did the digital nomad visa.
Hmm.
I had stayed at an Airbnb, met the owners, met the husband's brother and wife, And because they had left and the wife was like kind of my contact person and she was feeding their dogs. They were building a house with an apartment. So I'm back again staying at a different Airbnb, all in the same neighborhood. And it was on the second floor. And so I went to go see the apartment that the sister-in-law was building. And I saw it. It was nice. Like it was under construction. Like it was almost done when I saw it. I could see it from the Airbnb I was staying at. And so my mom was an ordained minister, right? So she always talked about like how God used the rainbow as a sign of promise. So anytime I see a rainbow for me, I'm always like, hey, mama, right? Like that's a sign for me. So it is a bright, sunny, clear day. I go back to the Airbnb. I go up where my place is and I go sit out on the deck. And there's this massive rainbow over the place that became my apartment.
That you can see from the window. Is that where you are now?
No, actually, I'm somewhere else right now. But no, I lived there for like almost 2 years because I ended up having to like leave and come back. And it was like, it was just, I was like, oh, okay, so this is where you want me to live, Mom, got it. You know, and even when I went the very first time for my birthday, and I came here like I can finally breathe, right? Because I was the executive of state. I was doing all the things.
Go back again. Say that last part again.
I could finally breathe.
That's another common theme that I hear from people that have taken this expat kind of journey, whether temporarily or long term. It's like, man, I got somewhere else and all of a sudden there was air and I can breathe and things got a little bit different. And I'm sorry, I just wanted to make sure that we highlight that part. Please continue.
Yes. So when I came for my birthday and I was thinking, okay, I got this Airbnb, I'm probably going to fall apart and cry the whole time. I was at peace.
Yeah.
I could feel my mother with me. I could feel her complaining about the heat, you know, like, cause she was not a heat person, right? But I could just hear her like, girl, it's hot out here. You still want to be on this beach? Like I could just hear her, you know, and I just found such peace here. Like just the vibe brought me peace. And I just started feeling zen. Yeah. And, you know, I started doing, so this was 2018. So this is when I started doing video. And I was really one of those people like, you can throw me on a stage of 10,000 people, do not put a camera on me.
Correct.
Okay. Right. Nope. I turned into Daffy Duck. I was like, yeah, like, it was not great. And then my coach was like, just start doing videos. Yeah. So when I came back for the 2 months, I did a video every day. Like everywhere I was, I would just be like, and one of my accountability partners was like, ma'am, you are all over my Facebook feed now with videos. I thought you hated videos. Like every day you're just doing a video. So it helped push me and it helped stretch me. And so I found peace here. Like, you know, I lost weight when I first came. Like they did. And that's what the guy told me. He's like, yeah, when you first move here, you lose 20 pounds like that. You know, like your skin gets better, you know, this. And I was like, all of that stuff is so true.
It's true.
And to your other point about like waiting for a perfect time, there was no perfect time. There was no perfect time.
But what I hear in what you're saying though also is that by not waiting for a perfect time, because I think a lot of people are looking for like, oh, I need everything about my family to be perfectly settled. Oh, I need everything about my business to be perfectly settled. I need everything about me to be perfectly settled. I want to do this and do that before I go. But what I hear and what you're saying, that's kind of what I'm writing down, is that you taking the leap amidst the imperfect situation allowed you to become more authentically yourself. You maybe lost, I don't know how long you were looking at the weight and going, maybe I'll do something about this one day, but it just happened by you taking the leap and taking the step. You've been supposed to be doing videos and you weren't doing them where you were, but in this new environment, you're able to do something that then help to fuel your business forward, right? Because I know I've been doing this a long time. So I already know the more video you do, the more content you create, the better it is for your business. I don't care what business you're in, right?
Yes.
But in that, and then also something else that I heard, I wrote this down because I wanted to just highlight it for you because I hear it and I don't know if, I'm sure you know it, but I just want to highlight it for the people that are watching this. Like literally, when you said that you saw the rainbow and the rainbow made you connect with your mother, so many people would think about being still to process grief, to process, you know, kind of where they are and to be present for everybody around them. But in some ways, when you moved, you got more connected with the person. Because I mean, real life, all life is energy, right? So when people leave us physically, they are still with us energetically in some other way. So I love that you were able to find that energy in the next place where you went. Tell me more about what you do for work.
Coach, and basically I help mid-career professionals, mostly older millennials to boomers, figure out their next steps with their career, whether it's a promotion, a pivot into a new industry, or a pivot into entrepreneurship. I help a lot of my clients start their business while they have a job. Because
Yeah.
once again, people are always waiting for this perfect time
Yeah.
to start a business. There's no perfect time.
No perfect time.
I know somebody who's like, oh, I'm going to go do this, but I'm waiting for my kid to get, settled in school
That's
first.
my
Now, wait.
favorite
No.
thing.
But this conversation went on for so long of waiting for this kid to get comfortable, in school. This kid is now 25 with a kid of his own.
See what I'm saying?
Like the time has
that's
passed.
the trick. That is the trick. The trick is that there's a perfect time, there's a perfect way. And I literally, if we can just not convince, but if we can just show people by doing it ourselves, like once you get the freedom in your own mind to be able to take the step, do the leap, do the thing. I'm really connected to this idea lately. And this is a good time to talk about some of this because I want to come back to your work also. But as I was telling you before we started, I spent half of the year in the island of Barbados and been doing that since 2020. And I, much like you, had a similar experience. I went for the first 3 weeks. I was supposed to be there for Christmas. At the end of 2020, I got there and I'm like, man, there's air here. This is crazy. I'm just going to stay a while. And I stayed for another 3 months. Right. And that was my first, bout. And then I've just been back and forth ever since. And I feel like one of the deep things that I've encountered in this conversation with folks is it's always about their kids. Always about their kids. It's always like, oh, my kid is still in school and I have to wait until they're out of school. But what you don't realize is that you are a person. You are a person with a whole life that you are responsible for in and of yourself. And so waiting for another person that yes, you are responsible for, but waiting for them. This is my last little side tangent. I saw a post in one of the expat groups. I think it was in the Blackset group. I think it was on Facebook. And a woman posted there anonymously saying that she was going to move to, I can't remember, I think Asia. She was going to move to Asia. She was going to leave her husband and her child in Atlanta. That was something they had agreed upon years prior. And that was going to be, originally the child was supposed to stay by herself. Husband said, cool, we're going to leave the child with the aunt. Bam, we're going to go to Asia. Then when it gets to the point of having to do it, the husband's like, I don't think I want to, whatever, kid wants to stay. All right, I'm going to stay. And so now the woman comes into the group and she's like, I'm about to leave my husband and my child and go and move to Asia. Has anybody else done this? The number of comments of people saying how irresponsible she was being for doing that and the whole thing. And they're like, I can't believe you would do this. And you don't like your husband and you don't want to be a mother and you don't, blah, 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 blah. Meanwhile, I'm looking at the whole thing going, listen, if you and your husband had agreement already and the child is the one, who lets a 13-year-old or 15-year-old direct the direction of the family? That's crazy. Pack that kid up. But that's what I'm saying. People are always making the child the excuse for not being whole people and living.
Right. Instead of being the reason.
Pack that kid up. Come on, pack him up.
Listen, I have met women here who are Black American women. One is here. She brought her 16-year-old son.
Right.
He had to adjust. He's fine now. Right. I knew another one. I know she's gone because it's her husband, and I believe they had 5 kids who range from 2 to 19. And last I heard, they went to Egypt. I don't know where they went to after that. So you can take your children with you. Your children, you can take them with you. They can learn something new. They can get homeschooled. Kids are very adaptable. They adapt better than adults do. A lot of time people use their kids as the excuse instead of the reason why they should do something. And I always tell people, if you tell your kids you can do anything, follow your dreams, this, that, and the other, and they never see you follow yours or even attempt it, what are they going to do? It's like if you're a smoker and you tell your kids don't smoke. Of course your kid is going to smoke. They see you smoking. It's the same exact thing. If you want to move, even if it's like, let's try it for 3 months, we'll pull you out of school for 1 semester. Let's see how we like it. You can always move back. That's the thing people forget. You can always go back. Going back is not the hard part. You go back. You stay someplace. You find a new place. You go stay with family for, 3 weeks until you find an apartment, until you find a house. Like, you can always go back. I've had to go back to New York a few times for a few different reasons, right? Like, okay, I had to go take care of some health stuff and I didn't have insurance here because I was a digital nomad. So I went back to New York. It's no big deal. I went to New York for a conference, and I stayed up for 2 months. And then I came back. And then I went back up for something else. And right before I leave, I get into a car accident.
Oh, wow.
So I ended up going back up to New York for almost 3 months to do PT.
Right.
And for those women out there who are single or divorced, I found love on this island.
That is also something that I am a preacher of at this point. People that are single, divorced, separate, and have hit the wall of I'm never gonna find. Baby, you have not ever been everywhere. Your
Yes.
partner, listen, sidebar to the single women. Here we go. I'm coming in. Lock in with me here. Your partner is outside the borders of your comfort zone, which is
Yes.
likely where you are trying to keep yourself. I'm into this whole thing now where it's like, listen, you're trying to answer your calling, which partnership is a calling, right? You're trying to answer your calling professionally, personally, and wherever, and skipping the first step. Because most people have felt the nudge to leave. You just like you had thought it before, but you were like, well, circumstantially, I'll wait until. And you did the first time. And then you left and did it, right? Same with me. I got the first inkling in 2014 to move out of the country. I'm like, oh, I'm going to go to Spain and try that because I like Spanish and whatever. But the thing that you are looking for in your life, single person or dissatisfied person, I promise you, if you pack up those bags and get on out of here, it's going to make all the difference.
And they might even be an American who also left.
I have
Yes.
found some of my closest friends in other countries, but they were American. We were 20 minutes away from each other the whole time. Never got close here. Never.
Listen, my current boyfriend,
Mm-hmm.
he moved down here. I came in 2018. He came in 2019 with his now ex-wife.
Mm-hmm.
He's originally from Antigua. He grew up in New York. Turns out he went to high school with one of my great uncles.
See
And
that?
now my great aunts and uncles are not much older than me because my dad's older than all of them. So there's literally like 10, 12 years between me and this great uncle, right? My boyfriend's cousins and my uncle played football together in high school. We never would have
Wow.
met in New York.
You never would have met in New York.
Never would have met in New York.
Never.
Yet,
And he would have
here
stayed
we are
married if he
thriving.
had stayed in New York. And that's kind of the thing. Your life starts to get clarified when you make those big, bold moves and really, really take charge of that first step. So many people are trying to do it out of order. Well, let me look for my partner where I am when there's really a nudge for you to go. Because then they're like, oh, I feel a nudge to move out of the country. Let me find my partner, get the perfect job, start the business, and then I'll go. When really you're being asked to do it in reverse. That's really the whole thing. So I really want to loop this back into your career and kind of what you have been building with that. Talk to me about how you have found your ability to execute your work while living abroad.
Well, so for me, like with COVID, people had to pivot. I was always doing this. I was
Yep.
always working via Zoom or Google Meets or something with my clients. I also speak for corporations, for ERGs. I'll come into the US for conferences. So for me, for the business side, it gave me a chance to just focus on my business and think.
Ooh, well
I'm not
said.
doing extra things, right? Like my side hustle when I'm in New York is I deliver for Amazon. So I don't have any clients. I'm in them Amazon delivery streets, right? And I live in Long Island when I'm in New York. So that's the suburbs for those of you who don't know. So basically being here gave me a chance to slow down. I'm not running around delivering Amazon. I was able to just focus on my business. Like currently I'm trying to scale my business. That's what I'm working on, global scaling, doing more with corporations, pivoting away from some of the career stuff more into the business side.
Okay,
Uh,
what do you mean by
it's
that?
well, because actually, with AI now, like I do resume writing too. I've been writing resumes actually since I was 15. So I still get a few resumes here and there, but mostly I like to do coaching with people, coaching and strategy. And here's the difference: coaching will get you to your aha moment, but strategy gets you to voila, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes a coach can't help you with your actionable steps. I can
Mm-hmm.
actually help you figure out your actionable steps and make it a reality, right? Some people
Mm-hmm.
can do one or the other or both. So I've been pivoting more into working with corporations to help them with their talent development, their leadership pipelines, with succession planning, and things around like leading with a global focus, leading with some AI strategy instead of just laying people off and being
Yeah.
like, hey, we're going to get AI to do that. How about you adapt the AI into your people instead
Right.
of letting your people go?
Sure.
I don't like seeing so many people getting laid off, you know.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been kind of focused on lately with my business. But being here gave me a chance to just focus on that, focus on what am I doing next? For people when they was just figuring out their careers, what's my next path? That's all I can focus on with people now. Now I'm not worried about, okay, I got to go run and do this. I'm running to do this. I'm running to do that.
So you feel like you have
Just go.
slowed down a bit by living
Oh,
in
yeah.
another place. Right,
Yes.
because then I really think that's so interesting. And I want to circle back to what it is that you're doing with your business, because maybe I can help you scale while we're here. So I think it's an interesting thing that happens. I say all the time that I actually live a very opposite life. When I'm in Barbados, I kind of can't just stay put. It's so nice outside. I want to go work all day at the beach club and not necessarily just like sit in the, unit or whatever. But here, I will stay in the house, because my house and office are all mixed in together. I'll be in this joker for a week. Be like, oh, I need to go outside and people. I have to like really schedule it and curtail it. But in your case, you're saying that relocating gave you an opportunity to pare down the frivolous things.
Mm-hmm.
Do you find that
So,
you were spending time on things that weren't necessarily supporting your goals, supporting your life mission?
yeah, a bit. But I mean, here, like also with the slowdown, I mean, the pace of New York is insane, right?
Right, from New
I
York is
mean, I'm from New
crazy
York, so
distance.
it's just,
Yeah.
that's New York. Even living in the suburbs of New York, it's still
Yeah.
fast,
Sure.
right? Because then I spent a lot of time in New York City, so it's like the commute. It's doing this, it's doing that. Here, yeah, I go work outside during the day. I used to have a routine before I met my boyfriend. Like I would go to this one restaurant on the water and go for lunch and be there like for 3, 4 hours and have
Yeah.
my laptop. Like they all knew me, they didn't bother me. They would
Yeah.
just check if
Yep.
you need anything.
Same. Yeah.
And that was nice. Wednesdays, I used to block out from 12 to 2 on a Wednesday and go to the beach. Like that was
Yeah.
my me time. That was my recharge time because where I used to live at, I was 15 minutes from one of my favorite beaches. Now I'm like 30 minutes away, 35 minutes. But it gave me a chance to also go, well, what do you want? I was able to catch my dreams. I became a dream catcher instead of a dream chaser. But
Yeah.
then you lived that dream for a while, then you might have a new dream. Now it's like, well, now what? We did this
Yeah.
part. Now what do we want to do?
Yeah. It's always
Right?
evolving.
It's always evolving. So then
Always
it's like
evolving.
figuring out what's that next thing. And to just touch briefly back on what you were saying with single women for finding that alignment, right? Like I've always known I wanted to travel the world. I wanted to live in other places. With my boyfriend, when we met, he talked about wanting to move and live and travel to the same exact countries I named. So we have alignment. Like we want to be here for another 2 to 3 years before we move to somewhere in
Yep.
Europe. We're looking at like Italy or Spain,
Yep.
right? Like, and then we both talked about Asia and different countries in Asia. So we have that alignment.
Yeah.
And so, he has his own business as well. I have my business. And so we'll spend parts of a week where we're like, okay, what are you working on? What's working? How can I help support you?
Yeah.
This, that, and the other. Um, so it gave me like being here gave me a chance to kind of just also slow down for me.
Yeah.
I was not expecting to find somebody again. I am now 47,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like we even talked about having a family. I am childless, right? And so is he, and he's older than I am.
Yeah.
But these are things that I thought were off the table. Okay, so for anybody that needs some hope, sometimes you just need to go someplace else, and
Need to go
there's your
someplace
hope.
else. You need to go
There's where
someplace
you
else.
find it. Yeah.
And it literally is, in one of the other interviews, we talked about the path of like literally following the breadcrumbs. This is
Mhm.
not for people who are like, I want a vacation
Right.
once a year. That is a
Mhm.
very different category of this. This is not, oh, I need another vacation. The other part that I find is that people that are saying, oh, I need another vacation are really sensing that they need to relocate to another space and place, but they don't have that boldness to be able to own it in that level
Right.
of like to that degree. They're like, oh, I
Mhm.
just want to be someplace else. But that's not the
Mhm.
same. So even in this moment, let's just kind of validate that for people. If you've been sensing that it's time to go.
Yes.
Like the thing that you are looking
Yes.
for is literally going to be somewhere else.
If you can make US dollars and live someplace else, do it. The
Talk to
US,
me
it's
about it.
very easy to make money in the US, but it is really hard to live in the US. Just gonna
And
be
when you
real.
say really hard, elaborate a little what you
It's
mean.
really hard mentally at times to
Yeah.
live in the US,
Yeah.
right? So living on an island, and this is an island that speaks 4 languages, right? English is not
Mm.
their official language. Their two
Mhm.
official languages are Dutch and Papiamento, but they also speak English and Spanish here, and some people in tourist areas will speak German, right?
Okay.
So
Wow. I
they're
wouldn't have thought
speak,
that.
yeah, because of the tourists. So I don't feel afraid. Um, my blackness is not an issue.
Mm-hmm.
More people, when you leave the US, people don't like you because you're an American, not because you're black.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a nice feeling to just be the stupid American,
But they don't
right?
like you because you're American.
It's not, it's just it. It's not because you're black,
I think
right?
it's so
It's
ridiculous.
literally because you're an American.
I think American,
So,
people think America is really ridiculous. And I think that Americans should be aware of that because when
yes,
you live only in America, like generally speaking, you buy into the narrative that we are the center of the world. No,
we're not.
man,
Not.
nah,
And
no,
we are really behind on certain things
on a lot of things.
a lot of things. Yes.
You said something in the very, very blessed beginning about traveling by alphabet that really tickled me.
Hmm.
What made that kind of how you approached some of your exploration before you did relocation?
Well, you know what? Before I relocated, I didn't base it on the alphabet. I don't know why that particular year I was just stuck on the letter C because I was like, well, for 39, we were in Belize, so let's pick a C country. I have no idea
It was a
because
breadcrumb.
most of my vacation has been on like, what's the travel deal? I went to the Maldives because there was a flight deal on Expedia for $737 round trip from JFK to the Maldives.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I stayed in a water bungalow because I was like, if I'm going,
As you should if
I'm
you're
gonna
going
treat
to the
myself.
Maldives,
Okay.
right?
I like it's 12 hours to Qatar, then there was a layover, and there was a 4 hour. I was like, no, 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 we staying in a water bungalow.
Yeah, for sure.
And I went in 2021 when it was still
Mm,
some of the COVID stuff.
yeah.
So that's how I used to plan vacations was be like, I have a list of countries I would like to visit. And if something's on sale and I have it at the time that it's on sale, I'm like, charge it. Let's
What
go.
made you make the distinction between vacation versus your knowing that it was time to relocate?
A vacation for me is always temporary, right? It's just that, okay, I'm like, I need a vacation now.
Mhm.
Like, and because people are like, yeah, but you live for vacation. I'm like, absolutely
Mm-mm.
not. I live on an island. I'm not
Mhm.
on vacation.
Yep.
Like this is not relaxation. Like if we're at the beach and somebody calls, we got to go and go handle something, right?
Yeah, for
Because my
sure.
boyfriend's a property manager.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, so and he manages a few Airbnb properties. So it's like, oh, something happened, the guests need help, we'll go handle that. That interrupts our day. A vacation is I'm going to the beach to relax. Somebody's bringing me food. I'm not cooking it. I'm probably going to have more glasses of wine than I would as if I'm having a
Like
regular
a
day.
regular day. Right.
Right.
Sure.
I might have a glass of wine right now once every
Yeah.
other month. Right. But if
Right.
I'm on vacation, can I get some wine? Thank you.
3 a day. Please and
You
thank
know,
you.
like let
Sign
me,
them up.
let's like it's vacation.
So how do
But
you explain that to people though? Because people, to your point, they think you live on an island. You are on vacation. How do you
yes,
explain that to
I
folks?
explain like what my days could be like. I explain when it's busy, when I'm like, if I have client meetings and I'm speaking, I've had days where it's like, okay, I had a consultation call, I had a client call in the afternoon, I spoke for an hour for an ERG, then I paused and had lunch, and then I have two more clients in the evening. I haven't left the house. Like
Right.
I went out on the deck to get some air and come
Yeah.
back inside. Like that's not, it's very different when you live someplace else, right? And
Yeah.
I describe it as this. Okay, as a New Yorker, we don't go to the Statue of Liberty. We don't go to Times Square. We
Right.
don't go do the
Sure.
touristy things
Sure.
because we live here,
Sure.
right? When you're on vacation, you do touristy things.
Right.
So that's the difference, right? If you move to London, you're not in front of Buckingham Palace every day,
Right.
right? You're
Sure.
not going to see the big eye. Like you're not doing those things every
Sure.
day. That's how you know the difference between I live here and
And
I
I'm
vacation here.
vacationing.
And then
And
you
maybe
also
the
have to be aware of like things are different when you live other places, like when life is slower, when I have to do so many things in person that I could do online in the States, right?
mhm.
And so like even how your time is set up is so different. So you have to adjust to knowing like it's not the Amazon life here, right? You can't get everything done prime. Everything's not
Correct.
going to be done overnight. You can't
Correct.
always go on a website and get something. It takes 3 to 6 months to get a bank account here.
100%. If you're lucky.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah.
100%. So I guess that's something that if I can kind of pull all that in
Mhm.
to say to somebody who might be asking, well, how do I know if I'm ready to relocate when really all I am accustomed to is the feeling of wanting a vacation? What I think I hear you saying is if you are feeling a need for a break, that's a vacation. if you are feeling every day a need for a change in environment, then that's potential relocation. You think that's kind of fair to?
I think that's fair. And what I would say, because I had a friend ask me this because she was thinking about moving abroad, and I was like, "Did you call me because you want me to talk you out of it? Because I'm a wrong
Because
person for that."
I'm not.
And she's like, "No, no,
Do it.
no, I want to
Act
know all
now.
the." Because
Be
she's like,
smart.
"No, I want to know all the things." And I was like, instead of just picking up and being like, "I'm going to go get a visa and go here for 2 years," why don't you go for 2 months?
Discovery trips.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Stay in an
100%.
Airbnb. Do not be at the hotel. Do not be at the
100%.
resort. Get an Airbnb where you have to go to the supermarket,
100%.
cook every day,
Yep.
learn the transit system, learn the
Yep.
roads,
Absolutely.
all the things that you have to do on a daily, weekly, monthly basis,
Yep.
you
That's
know,
great advice.
figure
That
out
is
how you're
absolutely great advice.
paying your electricity, how, your internet, all of those things. If you like it for the 2 months, then you're like, okay, I can move here.
Yeah.
Right? Like my brother and sister-in-law come here a lot. They'll be here actually next week, right? They're coming for their anniversary.
That's great.
And they used to always say, oh, we want to move to Curaçao. And I was like, you absolutely cannot live here. My brother has no patience.
Oh, you can't do that. You can't
You
live on an
can't
island, no
you
patience.
can't live
You
on
can't
an
do that.
island without
Nah.
patience.
It's
Okay?
just,
You just
well, you
cannot
can,
do
but
it.
you'll have a heart condition because,
Right.
honey,
Right. You
come
have
on.
to have patience, right? If you like, in the US, when you go to a restaurant, the wait staff comes up to you and be like, hey, do you need anything? You have to flag them down everywhere else in the world. They will, and here, they'll look past you. You be like, hey, and they're looking at you because you see them look at you and they be like, and you're like, I'm just trying to get a glass of water. Like, I'm almost dehydrated. This right
I'm
here,
telling
this
you.
water bottle, I don't go anywhere without this water bottle.
Mm-hmm.
I have an expat friend here who's from Texas. She has this giant water bottle. And one time we went out, there was probably like four of us, and we were trying to go somewhere to eat just to get a glass of water. She just started handing us water from her jug because we could not get a waiter to come by to get
Yeah.
us a glass of water.
Yeah.
Okay,
Shout out
so
to my restaurants in Barbados. Y'all at least, you know what I'm saying? Because, all right, let me. But
listen,
but
they're
but
like,
I'm
ooh.
with you. I'm with you 100%. They just named the best restaurant in the Caribbean. What's the name of the thing? Whatever, it's top 50 something
Mhm.
world restaurants or whatever. But the best restaurant in the Caribbean is my favorite watering hole in Barbados. They just got voted that. But it's funny because it's an Italian restaurant. It's not even Caribbean influence. So the internet is in an uproar about that. However, the service is impeccable, and not just impeccable. It's not a white tablecloth restaurant. It literally is it's like you go for your birthday, but if you're me, it's my daily. I go sit and I work there sometimes, that kind of thing. But the staff, those people are special. They are immaculate human beings and they do an amazing job. And that is how I think that they got that. Because to your point, in the Caribbean, on islands, baby, like you're going to sit down, you're going to wait, you're going to pack your patience, you're going to be you're going to be a good human. So I'm going to try to wrap this up a little bit, but I have like 4 questions for you that I didn't want to miss out. In all of this, because your journey here has been high and low, and maybe it's been a myriad of things. It's been maneuvering grief and all those things, and also finding love, and also finding more pieces of yourself, creating space for other people to find pieces of themselves by inviting people to you. It's about you showing up more fully for your work and your clients and being able to breathe more, all of that, while navigating this massive trajectory of grief that has kind of made steps for you to be who you are now. All that to say, what have you discovered about yourself, and how have you grown personally?
I mean, I guess I've always known I've been a resilient person. Throughout this journey, I've just seen my resilience grow.
Yeah.
One of the things I think I've gotten better at for myself is giving myself grace. And this is something I always tell people, especially when it comes to grieving. It's a process. Give yourself grace. There's going to be days you're just going to fall apart, and you know what? Just fall apart.
Yeah.
And it's okay. If you couldn't do what you were supposed to do that day, it is okay.
Yeah.
It's like there are just random days where I could miss my mom and I'm sad, and then there are days I miss my mom but I smile the whole day, right? And then I see a rainbow and I'd be like, "Hey, girl," and it's fine, Or I say a saying that like her best friend used to say, or one of my aunts, or this one or that one, and it's okay. And then there are days where it's tough, and then from the business side too. I'm also in perimenopause. So we're not even going to talk. This is something a lot of coaches don't discuss because they're not at this point yet. There are days where the rage, and then you're crying, and then you're like, and then you're fine, right? Like, so as a woman, you're going through all of this stuff anyway, and it never stops for us. You're like, man, when does this end? Right? And
Mhm.
it's like, so there are days where it's just like, I can't today. I tried, I had a plan, I have a to-do list. I'm gonna check these 8 things off this to-do list, and all I can do is sit on the couch and watch a K-drama.
Yeah. No,
And I
and
had to give
that's the
myself
thing.
grace and understand that
Yeah.
and be like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Tomorrow will be a better day.
Yeah, no, I love that. Really well said. And this is going to be my last thing. You said earlier, and this I may, whatever. That probably should be the end, but I want to know this, so I'm asking. You said earlier that you were looking to scale your business. What would be the next most successful thing that you want to see happen? Like if you were going to speak an affirmation about the next level of your business, what would that be?
An affirmation for the next level of my business. That's a good one.
Thank you.
I would probably say I speak an impact on a global level. That would be a big part of what I'm doing because I definitely want to reach global corporations, not
Hmm.
just domestic ones,
Sure.
and be able to impact talent pools worldwide. Because I think that just it's an issue not beyond the U.S. right, and
Yeah.
also being outside the U.S. You get to follow more international news
Sure.
easier
Sure.
because I get news like even now coming into my phone, I'm just getting news from like 3 continents at
Yeah.
least, right? And so just seeing what all the different countries are dealing
Yeah.
with and how so many of us are having the same exact problems
Yeah.
around the globe,
Yeah.
so I really want to be able to just make that impact and to help people also see that they can start a business while they have a job, like so you don't have to wait for that perfect time.
Hmm.
That's what I'm focusing on for the individuals, which will also, I have a program for that, which is going to end with a retreat here in Curacao.
Nice.
So yeah, get more people also. This actually we've had over 20 something% increase for the last 3 years every year of
Yeah.
tourism here.
Yeah. Same in
So
Barbados. It's wild.
yeah, it's like a lot of people, first they've never heard of Curacao, and now a
Right.
lot of people come here.
Yeah.
So yeah,
100%. So
yeah.
no, I love that. And the coach in me wants to challenge you just a bit to say, when you say I want to speak and impact on a global level, what does that mean if you were to make it a tangible goal? I want to, do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. For that standpoint, for 2026, I want to land 4 large 6-figure contracts with global companies that will allow me to do speaking and training in at least 4 of their global offices.
Okay, and you already know like what you're thinking about and talking about, and so
Oh, yeah,
you don't
yeah,
have to
yeah.
get into them.
I got all of that laid out. Basically, right now, my path is my plan for today is to go find contacts for the companies that I have in my list.
Nice.
Yeah.
Great. Well, I am believing that you will have all the success with
Thank you.
that. Mostly because you've already taken the steps to design the life that you want to have to support that. I think again, doing things out of order, people are like, "Oh, let me go do all of this first and then I can do the thing." You're like,
Yeah,
"I'm going to go now." And then everything else falls in alignment because not only do you have a plan, but you also have support. You have a whole partner now. Like, look at that.
right.
Look at
Well,
how
you
that
know
all worked
what?
out.
Sometimes I challenge some of my clients with this one. Sometimes you got to live in the chaos.
Oh yeah. How
People always
else?
like, no, everything has to be organized and it has to be this, it has to be this pillar, it has to
How
be this.
else? Mm-mm.
No, life, that thing, that saying is like, God is laughing while we're making plans.
Mhm.
So you have to learn how to live in the chaos. And like I said, you just have to like destroy your comfort zone and live
Yeah.
in that chaos and that discomfort until you're comfortable in the discomfort.
Yeah.
Then you can really move and grow.
Yeah.
And when things are down or you feel like you quote unquote failed, think of the lessons that you've learned.
Yeah.
It's part of the process. So many people are like, well, what if I fail? What if you don't? Well, what if I fail? Then what have you learned? Right? Like there's so much more nuances to go past, but what if I fail? Most people
Yeah.
won't even take the step forward because they're focused on, but what if I fail? So what? If you move abroad and you don't like it, you move back to the US. You have
Yeah.
50 states to choose from.
100%.
Just go
100%.
back. Pick a
Yeah.
state. Just go.
Yeah.
Like it's not really that hard.
Mm-mm.
You can land someplace and be like, all right, well, I'm gonna go live in Kentucky. I'm gonna go live in Iowa. I'm gonna go live in Dakotas. Like, pick one. Like, there's 50 states. We act
Yeah.
like we can't leave our little cul-de-sac of wherever
For
we
sure.
are in America. Like, well, I got well, what about your family, the people I don't see now?
Child, that one right there blesses my soul. It's the same thing that people do when they go buy a new house. They literally make the decision to spend $500,000 on a home based on the one time of year they're planning to host one big event. Oh, this will be great for Thanksgiving. You're going to buy
Yeah,
the house for that one day a year. It's the exact same part of the brain that makes us do that. And it's also the thing that talks us into or out of things. But that's like a whole other thing. We need a whole other hour for that. But no, I really appreciate this conversation. This has been really helpful. And I hope that the people that are watching and that have stayed until the end have gotten inspired to understand that the thing you are looking for is also looking for you. It's just not where you are looking. It's there. It's just not where you are committed and dedicated to looking. And if you will allow yourself to expand your possibilities just a tad and get out of the country, just get out of the boundaries, get out of the comfort zone that, by the way, only you are defining. Nobody else is putting that limit on you. You may, in fact, discover something else for your life. So, VJ, I thank you so much for being the inspiration to us all to
thank you.
continue. I cannot help but look at this air conditioner above your head. It's giving me nostalgia. It makes me want to go home. Okay. Because, honey, I'm telling you, my air conditioning units, they bless my soul. But anyway, okay, so we'll have all your contact details and stuff down in the
Yes.
description so people can come follow you and your journey as you are taking your next steps to elevate your business, your life plan, and your personal development, as I'm sure you will.
Thank you.